Recently, I sat down with a distributor whose revenue had grown every single year. Great story, right? Well, except gross margin had slipped 2 full points over the same time stretch, and nobody could say why. The answer wasn't in the pricing files, it was in the catalog. 4,000 active SKUs, and more than half of them were quietly eating the profit the other half earned. And that's what I want to talk to you about today: SKU rationalization. Not as a tidiness project, but as one of the fastest margin levers a mid market manufacturer or distributor has. Here's the pattern. In most portfolios, a small share of products earns the majority of the margin. Bain's research puts it plainly: roughly 20% of products generate the bulk of the value, and the companies with the simplest portfolios grow about 3 times faster than most complex ones. McKinsey estimates product complexity costs US food and beverage manufacturers as much as $50 billion in gross profit a year. $50 billion. And none of it lands on a single P&L line. But why not? Well, because every SKU pulls on a chain of work that standard accounting hides. Forecasting, purchasing, changeovers, warehouse slots, quoting, master data. A distributor with 10,000 SKUs and 10,000 customers is managing 10 million possible price points, each with its own cost to serve. Now, here's the mistake that almost everyone makes when they finally decide to clean this up. They rank SKUs by revenue and cut from the bottom. But revenue hides cost. A high revenue SKU sold in tiny, frequent orders to scattered customers can lose money once you count the handling, the freight, and the returns behind it. So the number that matters is contribution margin after cost to serve, not the gross margin on the invoice. So how do you spot a value destroying SKU? There are typically 4 signals. Number 1, thin or negative pocket margin. Number 2, high cost to serve, small orders, special handling, lots of returns. Number 3, no strategic role, meaning no anchor customer depends on it. And number 4, an easy substitution, where a product you already stock can absorb that demand. When a SKU trips 3 or 4 of those, it's a candidate. But when it trips just one, it usually just needs a price change, not the axe. So the playbook itself is simpler than people expect, and it runs on data you already have in your ERP. So you build a SKU-level P&L for the last 12 months, layer in the cost to serve, score every SKU on 2 axes, profitability and strategic role, and 4 piles emerge: keep and grow, keep and fix the price, watch, exit. But then comes the step most teams skip. Map the substitution paths before you cut anything, and talk to the customer who lean on a SKU before the catalog changes, not after their order fails. And finally, lock the gate. 1 in, 1 out. A margin floor for new SKUs, a quarterly review. You skip the gate and the tail grows back within a year or 2. And one more guardrail before you touch anything: classify every SKU by lifecycle. A low volume product in growth is an investment. The same product in decline is a liability. They look identical on a trailing 12-month report, but killing tomorrow's winner is the worst mistake in the whole process. So what does this actually recover? For a typical mid-market distributor, going from around 4,200 SKUs to about 2,750 can mean something like 1.6 million in annual margin recovered and over 2 million in working capital freed from inventory. These are just illustrative numbers, but the shape is real. And notice where the margin comes from. Most of it is not the tail you cut, is repricing the middle. The SKU customers want that we're quietly losing money. Which brings me to the point I would put on a billboard if I could. Reprice before you prune. Weak pricing makes healthy SKUs look sick. Margin leaks through unmanaged discounts and absorbed freight. The SKU looks unprofitable, it lands on a cut list, and the real disease, undisciplined pricing, just moves on to the next product. Our own research shows that about half organizations don't use a price waterfall at all, and roughly 1 in 5 rarely measure realized price. You cannot fix what you cannot see. And a delisted SKU earns nothing, whereas a repriced one can earn for years. And watch one trap in the reporting. Excuse me. Cutting low price tail SKUs lifts your average selling price on paper without a single price change. But that's mix, not realization. Real improvement shows up in the net price on a like-for-like SKUs. Track both, or you'll mistake a cleaner catalog for a healthier price. Now, the objection I hear every time, won't we lose customers? It's the right instinct and usually the wrong conclusion. When you map substitutions first and sequence the phase out account by account, most tail demand moves to a product you already stock. So the customers that generally need a niche item are few, and you can handle them directly, sometimes with a last time buy. It's undisciplined cutting that loses customers, not disciplined rationalization. And no, you don't need a pricing team or a data science team to run this. The analysis repeats every quarter, the same P&L, the same cost to serve overlay, the same grid, which makes it a perfect fit for a managed service. The journey runs diagnose, stabilize, optimize, scale, and the repricing wins in the first few weeks pay for everything that follows. Here's the principle I would leave you with. The companies that pull ahead almost never carry the biggest catalogs. They run the most disciplined ones. Every product should earn its place. Reach out to Reprice Analytics and we'll help you clean up your assortment and make sure that you improve profitability in all those areas. So if you want to see where margin is leaking across your own SKUs, start with a profit diagnostic. It usually takes days, not months, and you don't need a pricing team to do it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.